Now, Lulu, let's talk about leadership. What does the future of leadership mean to you?
The future of leadership for me, more than anything else, it's going to be around integrity. I mean, there's a whole range of characteristics of leaders. But I think for me, when I look at what's happening in the world and what's happening in this country, and if I look at the leaders that I admire, I think at the center of it, over and above vision, courage, and all of those other things, resilience, and all of those other things, I think the issue of morality and integrity for me, it's going to be at the core. Because the sustainability of this world is going to depend on the extent to which we make moral decisions. And as leaders, we hold ourselves, we take ourselves seriously, and we are people of integrity. I think for me, this is becoming quite a big issue.
And Lulu, what have you learned from your own journey that you consider most important for building future leaders?
I think there are two things around it for me. One is education. I think education, there is no substitute for education. In saying that, I'm not suggesting that there aren't leaders who are not educated. I've just come from I come from a rural village. This weekend I spent the weekend, in fact a week, in my rural village there, and admiring women who are leaders in their own right there. But for purposes of impact and being able to deepen progress in the world, it's going to be around education. So I think that's the first thing. The second thing for me, it is going to be about women. Because I think, my own research, when I was doing my PhD, I looked at household economics. And not just myself, and that has been proven by other people who've done research. So this is not hearsay or emotional speak. This is based on scientific research, is that women, to a large extent, more than men, whatever income they have, they actually spend on the family as in the extended family, and they spend far less than men on things that satisfy themselves as individuals. So I think that, I'm saying that if we really invest on women, both in terms of education and also in terms of giving women an opportunity to be in positions of leadership, so that they are able to take the decisions, because women are leading, but at community level, and it's not enough to do that. And in families they do, but it's not enough. We need to put more women in positions that they can take far wider decisions that can impact on society as a whole. And I think if we did that, in saying that, I am not suggesting that it's about saying men must now not lead. I'm saying that we've got a whole society out there, half of the population, as most people say, that we are not leveraging on, and they do have, by their very nature, they do have real concern for society. As I say, I'm a mother of two, and I have a real concern about what happens to my children. I'm not suggesting my husband doesn't, he does, but I've got a specific concern about the future of this world as a mother. So I really, really believe that education and women, for me, if you combine those two, you've got a long way to go in terms of ensuring sustainability of this world. Even if you looked at issues of climate change, whichever issue you looked at, and if you brought those two together, got a long way to go. Women in rural areas, they go out, they fetch water, they fetch firewood, but they know what to do and not what to do when they're out there. And I've been there, where you collect wood and you fetch water, and you know what to do and how to preserve that. But if you added education to it, as we're doing all of that work, we've got a long way to go. We would go far as a society.
Now, Lulu, when you speak to young leaders, to aspiring leaders, what is it you tell them they should focus on for future-proofing their career?
Education. You'll hear this word for me over and over again. Education. And also being prepared to start from the bottom. I think one of the key issues for young people, and it's got a lot to do, those are the unintended consequences of technology and also social media, is that it's all very instant. So there's this idea that you're going to finish at university, you're going to come into your first job, you're going to be a manager, and you in a year or two, you're feeling like people are standing on your way. But in reality, it doesn't work that way. There's certain things at university you learn the technical issues. You learn to think, basically. You learn to analyze, but they don't teach you how to do. That you learn when, even as a town planner, I'm a town planner, I learned how to design, I learned how to think about socio-economic development. But until I was there with a pen and paper and I had to design a township, it's a completely different story when it's theoretical, when it's real. The people in Diepsloot, in a squatter settlement, I've got to design now and think about how to bring in services. It's something that you're not quite taught until you are on the ground. So I'm saying one of the key things is to learn to focus on the basics first. Without the basics, you are not able to manage anybody. As a town planner now, I've served as a deputy chair of the Planning Commission in the Eastern Cape. Nobody can put wool over my eyes because I have done basic development control. I've started there. I might be where I am now, but I started there. So when I manage a team, I know both how to design a township, I know how to do development control, but I've gone with that to see how do I make decisions now at a national scale that would impact on that. But without having done that, you just think you can just go in, which is what young people. So I say education, know yourself, continuously improve yourself, be prepared to start from scratch. And last but not least, you'll hear this other word from me: integrity, integrity, integrity. There is no shortcut because people lose their integrity because they're looking for shortcuts. And in the world, there's no shortcuts. Everything comes back to you in the end, as we can see now with the Zondo Commission. People went fast, became billionaires, but 5 years later, it's all come back and it's rolling back. So integrity, there isn't anything that can substitute education, starting from the bottom, and integrity, and being prepared to learn.